Fuck, are you kidding me? You idiots. Okay. Can you hear me okay, guys? All right. So just let me know if you can hear me. I just have to restart the stream. There's a few little issues. There's a new streamer through YouTube. I'm just getting used to it. Things have changed, and I don't like change. All right. Let me know how we're going, and we'll get up and racing. Thanks, Peter. Excuse me. All right, let's get going. So US was up again last night, which is not unusual. So they pretty much rallied straight from the open. I think there's a bit of weakness through the European session, and basically 11:30, bang on the dot, up they go. The markets turned on the dime, up they go, and the US dollar sold off. So yeah, it's continued to be, everyone's sort of sitting around waiting for US stimulus. We've got payrolls employment data out on Friday, which is could throw a cat amongst the pigeons. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, a weak number, it'll probably get sold off and then bounce because the back of stimulus. They're all expecting more and more stimulus just to continue to support the market. Yeah, the bond market, if anyone notices, the bond market generally is inversely correlated with the stock market, yet they are both going up, as in bond prices are going up along with equity markets. So one of them is going to be wrong in the longer term. I'll say that bonds are a bit more astute than the stock market. Stock market's a bit of euphoria at the moment, I'd suggest. Whereas the bond market's traded by funds, professionals, they've got a more, I would say, a more educated opinion on the markets, and their yields are dropping, meaning deflation, which is not necessarily good for the economy, except stimulus is the key support. I mean, because if you're buying companies, you don't care whether there's massive stimulus bill that they're going to have to pay, as long as the company's going up and it's got cheap source of debt, I guess, to continue the growth. But sooner or later, that ball's going to stop rolling, I guess, or the can's going to stop moving down the road. But yeah, and for now, it's still NASDAQ, being supported up near highs. It sort of opened and went sideways for most of the session, but sort of finished towards its highs, up slightly. Dow was up and the S&P was up, the broader market S&P. So they're all sort of hanging around up the highs until something significantly changes. Until sentiment or anything changes, they'll keep going up. All right. So whereas Europe, they opened, had a bit of a spike up, and then got smacked down, and they DAX ended down. I think the FTSE was pretty much flat for the session. So we'll take a look at the intraday action, what we're looking at, just on the key indices. Now, this is the Hang Seng. So, funny story. I won't show you the 5-minute chart or the 1-minute chart, but it's pretty clear what happened on the 30-minute. I think it was Bobby who was chatting about it too in our Discord channel. Anyone who wants to join the Discord channel, just email us to support@tradesetup.com.au, and I'll let you know. And then, I'll send you the link, and you can come in and chat and just join the foray. So we've got Hang Seng pretty much did nothing. I mean, I had a few trades on there, in and out. I think it was 9 trades, 5 wins, 4 losses. So really, up until the last trade, I was pretty much slightly down. I think all in all, it was just a choppy sort of a session. You can see that was happening. And I think the second to last trade was a buy that I got flushed out of slightly. I took a small hit on that, but then it looked really positive, and then it was basically going long on the break of, you can see this 24.7 just above there. I think it's 24.711 or 712. something like that. I went long, and you can see that just rocket up. Now, dumb me, because it was such a quiet day, I had a profit target in there. I just normally set it, you buy and have the linked profit and the linked stop, and I just move them around as the market moves. But it went that fast. It tagged the profit target before I really had too much of a chance to assess it and move it. Assess the strength. So it did take a good profit, which made it a good day, but it rallied another 150 points. So it was just just took off. So that's leading me to believe that we're going to have a bit of a move up again on the Hang Seng, and then have to wait and see it opens. I wouldn't mind seeing a bit of a flush, but this level, especially this level 24,850, say, hold. It'd be nice if we could sort of squeeze out this high low. If we squeeze out 24,920, 919 and hold just above it, something like this, even if you just flush it out and hold above it, especially on a 5-minute candle. So what they tend to do on the Hang Seng a lot is get a level, push through, but finish below, close below on that candle. And if that's the case, then that's good, because that's good for more bullish action. I'll be looking for just a high low to work off and see if we can get a push up through 25,1115 or 25,210. More than likely to probably just take off before that, and you'll get this pump in on the open, or coming into the open, pump up and then drop. So keep an eye on the Dow for more. The Dow and the Hang Seng will move sort of in tandem. We will see on the Dow as well. See just what happens. I think that longer term it's heading high, but whether we get something like this, it looks like it's going to get buoyed, especially here. So if you're looking at it here, there's a chance that you are thinking, like I was, bounce off the MAs and up we go. But instead, it's squeezed people out. So you sort of get this, if you can see, this is the 5-minute chart, this little minor lower high, you can see just here with this candle. Okay, that's something just to be careful of, because European markets opened. We've got this, punch into that high, hold this low. It was sort of range bound until then, push back up. And it's sort of the first time we got to push down, maybe retest. We got that lower high forming that shoulder for a potential short, especially when you've tested it. You've got the level 1, 2, 3 for the third time you couldn't break through. There's a chance that we have to take a deeper correction, at least retest this low or potentially go through, which is what happened. But it's a good little setup. I mean, there's people that would just be buying, when you're not using shoulders, you're not using high lows, and that for evidence that there's strength or weakness coming into the market, then you can get caught if you just put a straight out limit in there. So if you were just putting a limit, okay, mid-range, I'll go mid-range, I'll look for that level, and I'll put my stop below, bang, stop straight out again in the next few minutes. So that was, some weakness coming. I wouldn't mind seeing, if we get a flush up and then we sort of hold that level at 26,855, push up and pull back into it, then I'll be looking for something like this, a bit of a setup. I wouldn't mind, getting a setup like this, getting some buys and then squeezing them out. But that may take most of the day. We'll just see how that goes coming to the European session. Otherwise, not much has been happening on the Dow through the out of hours, so through the Asian sort of market, Asian session. It's sort of coming into Europe and it starts kicking off, and then Europe kicks off, and away they go. Look at Japan. We had a loss on that yesterday, which wasn't quick enough to close it out at even, but it, so be it. We had some strength come into the markets, pushed higher. Look like we're holding it at 22,427. Wouldn't mind seeing a flush and then hold. If we can hold a higher level, something like this scenario, clean out a few these buys, clean them out, and grind out a higher low, and then look if we can get that acceleration to that zone, potentially hold another higher low, and we could get a push up to 22,655. Just continuing that momentum up, if that can play out. Hang Seng, we've done that. Done the SPY. We'll look at the SPY. It's just opened. Yep, just opened. Sold off. I think we're going to see if this level can hold 59.64. If that can hold, and we just flushed out, I want to see that hold. I don't really want to see that come all the way down to 59.55. Drop another 20 points. It's not going to be as positive open. I think we could get a flow on from yesterday's positive sentiment, especially when the US has gone up again. But the SPY can tend to do the opposite. So you've got to be careful. If you think it's bullish, it can go negative, and if you think it's bearish, it can go up. So you just got to be careful with the SPY. It can chop around quite a bit more. So we'll just see how that plays out. But yeah, they're the sort of key levels: 59.85, 59.64. I do want to see that up if I'm going to go long. I want to get a long in. I don't want to see it jam straight back, all the way down here, and then grind its way back up. Because that grindy action, you'll be looking for a short all day, and nothing happens. Pound. Just thought the pound might be interesting. I want to see, it's just probably flushing that level out now. I want to see a lower high. I think there could be some more weakness on another swing level here. If it just grinds straight back up to this high, then it's all over. Essentially, I'm looking for more of that contraction. So contraction lower. Okay, so that's the bit of contraction lower we've been getting. This was on, that move down was in the European session. In the European session, we got that lower high to play into. That was great after that flush. So if you see something like this, just, take note of it when you get that sort of flush higher and it can't continue on. It's gonna be some strength. It'll just keep going and pull back, test the level and go. But if not, if it flushes out and comes straight back in, you're looking for a shoulder and that move lower, which played out beautifully. I'm waiting for something like that. Potentially, if we can play out like that, it may not be in our session, but just keep an eye on for something. You get a shoulder trade on the short side, and that is a key swing level. As long as that holds, if we start pushing up to, this level, then I think it's obviously over. All right, let's just look at Bitcoin. A few different things. So not much change overnight. I mean, apart from that, this super turbocharged rally in gold. Apart from that, Bitcoin didn't move too much. The dollar didn't really move too much. The dollar was choppy. We'll take a look at that in a second. So Bitcoin, I want to see for continuation of that trend on one of these two levels hold. I don't mind seeing it tested. If it can test at 10,860 or down at least 10,5, 10,560, it's 300-point swing. But if it can pull back and consolidate and hold that level, look for a higher low. I'm just looking for another higher low and see if we can get a continuation of that trend. This is the 4-hourly chart, so it's a bit more, it's a longer term time frame, but I don't think after that move, that smash down, I've got my drink there, I need a bit of water. After that smash down to clean out a few of the longs, people are going to be a bit more tentative. We could get another move like that. All right, so they need to be, me personally, I need to be proven. It needs to be proven to me that it's going to hold up and we're going to get a higher low to work off. I don't want to get caught up. This higher low starts working, I'll jump in early and get squeezed out another spike lower. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Go to the dollar, and we'll finish off on gold, I think. US dollar, go to the 30-minute chart. Look at the 30-minute chart. So it's choppy. There's weakness, obviously, on the dollar, keeping the dollar down. Obviously, the more stimulus, the weaker the dollar. In essence, they're debasing the dollar, debasing the US dollar, which is obviously good for gold. And I think that's pretty much what triggered gold. There's no other reason apart from that rally. Once the US dollar kicked off, I think gold just went boom, up she goes. Just in anticipation of more dollars flowing into the market, more stimulus. At the moment, they still haven't worked it out, which is kind of unusual. I thought they'd just be throwing more stimulus at it. Probably they're getting towards these highs. Trump's quite happy with the state of play in the equity markets coming into elections. He's happy with it so he can start spruiking it. So they're happy just to keep it up here, I guess. Be interesting to see, though. I want to see what kind of stimulus they push out. Maybe they're waiting for Friday being payroll numbers, which is an employment. If they come out really bad, they expect a stimulus announcement to come in and throw more dollars at that market. But they're expecting a decision by Friday. But either way, look at that US dollar. We had that little run down, bounce straight back again. So this move up has taken out a few of these lower highs to squeeze. So we may still see some strength. But chop, we might get something like this, chop around here, and then another rally. We don't know, but ultimately, if it starts to get some weakness onto the downside, we start to grind out and then start to accelerate downside. Then I think there's some much lower prices on the US dollar. That was that support around that 92.50 we've been talking about. It don't really want to see it trade down here, but I think the US dollar's factoring in another drop. Sorry, gold is factoring in another drop in the US dollar. So look at that. That was basically at 11:30. So all the action kicked off at 11:30. Pretty much anything related to US dollar didn't do anything much up until 11:30. We got the pound did move down and bounce straight back up. Euro, you can see that was coming off as the US dollar was sinking a bit and then banked straight back again. Aussie the same. Bit of weakness, but you can see that it's still bullish the way it rebounded and kept on going. Aussie's got two things: risk on because of the weaker US dollar and risk on because the equity's going up, and both went the right way. US dollar down and equities up. So that's probably about it. On gold, I don't see. I mean, I just can't buy something like that, and there was no real setup for me here. It did play at 11:30. Potentially, you could have got after that flush, you take a break to the upside. because the market loves to do that, a wash out one side and go and just ramp straight up, or if it's going to wash out the highs and then fall away. That's what you're sort of looking for, especially that flush and rejection. Look for the flush and rejection for a potential buying opportunity on the upside. But from here, we're extended. We've probably been extended for a while, but the way we consolidated here was maybe a heads up it was going to go again. Or, this was a 50-50 bet. It could have rolled over if we got the bounce in the US dollar, which was starting to play out, but it didn't. We just got banged straight back up. So I think it's really keying in some further stimulus. It'll be interesting to see whether, we get the stimulus and it continues to go. So here we'll just go to the weekly. It's just plowed through that high at 920, say. So you're going to be thinking twice about going long up here, where you should be. Anyone that goes long here is up here at these levels, at these well and truly. It's near vertical on the weekly. The daily is strong. Everything is strong. So you got to ask yourself, who's going to go long up here? Could keep going, but for me, if I have to ask myself that, I don't want any piece of it. I want to see people washed out, cleaned out of this market before I potentially go long. And maybe I missed the boat on that little, we've got one red candle on the daily and then the strength. But, either way, we've had a good little run on gold stocks. All right, guys, we'll call it a day there. Any questions, feel free to send us a message to support@tradesetup.com.au. It will be great if you can join us and sign up to look at our website anyway, and join us on all the Facebook, LinkedIn, not LinkedIn, Twitter, and subscribe to us at YouTube, and just leave us a like if you can. And also, I'll be doing a talk on the 18th of August. It'll be about 12:30, I think it's for an hour. So you just jump online to this program TV channel as their technical analyst. So I'll get you some details soon. You can just join in there and listen to that. You probably listen to me yabber on quite a bit anyway, but might be something different. All right, guys.